From the silence of the upper atmosphere, the desert looks peaceful, a golden sheet of stillness. But as the aircraft descends, peace becomes distortion. The air moves like molten glass. The moment wheels touch ground, rubber begins to soften. The desert greets its visitors with smoke, not dust. 71 degrees Celsius. Air so hot it bends light, blurs color, erases edges. Even electronics gasp for breath. Breathing feels like swallowing flame. Lungs ache, heartbeat stumbles, sweat vanishes before it forms. The earth appears liquid. Mountains waver like ships on an invisible sea. The desert is not still. It flows. Engines overheat in minutes. Metal softens, tires hiss. Technology forgets how to function. The sand hums. Each grain expands, contracts, sings. Beneath the surface, heat turns minerals into living sound. A caravan appears through the distortion, silhouettes floating above the horizon, walking on waves of air. Their skin shines bronze under endless sun. Eyes narrow to slits. Sweat never forms. It evaporates before birth. Hidden beneath the dunes lies a city that never meets daylight. Homes built under sand to escape the boiling air. Inside, temperature falls to 40, cool by desert standards. Here, silence is a form of gratitude. Water is worshipped. Each drop divided, counted, blessed before use. Outside, the horizon boils. Air convects in spirals, bending light into living rivers. At 71 degrees, air density collapses. Sound slows. The boundary between sky and earth disappears. Scorpions move only at dawn. Beetles feed on vapor. Lizards leap between shadows as if time itself burns. Skin burns without flame. Blood thickens. Exhaustion becomes hallucination. The desert tests not muscle, but will. As the sun falls, the desert exhales. Heat turns to light, golden, endless, tender in its violence. Darkness brings no mercy. The sand radiates its stored fury back into the air, a midnight furnace. In sleep, they dream of rain, the sound of it, the scent of it. Here, memory becomes the only form of water. The sun returns, white and absolute. The desert awakens, shimmering, alive, the only place on earth where air itself burns. The desert breathes, slow waves of air rising from the soil, each carrying the ghost of molten stone. Under magnification, the sand moves like liquid metal, every grain whispering against the next. At 71 degrees, light itself begins to tremble. The air becomes a lens, bending vision, blurring truth. Thermometers fail, sensors melt, algorithms drift. Heat is no longer a number, it's a condition of existence. The wind hums in octaves never heard before. Heat stretches sound, turning speech into music and silence into thunder. Shapes emerge in the haze. Beasts of air and light, reflections moving faster than their bodies. Deep under the surface, life endures. Beetles coated in glass shells, microbes that feed on radiation instead of food. Its skin refracts sunlight instead of absorbing it. Nature invents its own mirror to survive. Roots stretch 30 meters down, feeding on vapor and mineral salt. The leaves never open. They would ignite. Invisible rivers rise through the desert, currents of heat strong enough to carry dust like water carries leaves. The researchers live in mirrored tents, prisms deflecting sunlight, each reflection a shield against extinction. Inside the domes, machines fail. Plastic liquefies, circuits curl like paper. Humanity's inventions forget their purpose. In the world that boils, only simplicity survives. Clay, cloth, shadow, patience. The human body begins to adapt. Blood thickens, sweat glands close, skin mirrors the color of the sand. Heat bends not only light, but thought. Travelers see rain that isn't there, faces that melt into sky. Beneath every dune lie bones, not reminders of death, but of transformation. Here, decay becomes dust and dust becomes light. Each molecule moves at hurricane speed. Air becomes a gas of fury, invisible fire, alive and endless. At noon, silence reigns. Even wind surrenders. Nothing dares move beneath the hammer of the sun. Below the surface, humanity hides from its own star, cooling chambers lined with mirrored stone, where breath slows to survive. In the world that burns, silence is not absence. It is reverence. The desert listens to itself and remembers it once was ocean. When the air itself became flame, humanity learned to build from reflection. The first mirrored domes rose, not to block sunlight, but to send it away. Below the surface lies a world of calm light, tunnels glowing with recycled day, air cooled by forgotten physics. They call themselves heat architects, engineers who draw buildings with mirrors instead of ink. Each beam of sunlight becomes a tool, cutting, shaping, welding glass into survival itself. What once threatened life now powers it. Turbines drink heat and exhale light, machines that run on fury. Beneath every dome, a single heart beats cold. Liquid nitrogen circulates like blood, drawing the world back from fire. Life returns in whispers. Markets beneath mirrored ceilings, air thick with spice and static. They harvest clouds that never form, pulling water from thin air, one drop at a time, like mining ghosts. The first sip of water is ceremony. Every molecule a victory. Every drop a lifetime earned. Power surges with the rising sun. Every dawn resets the pulse of the city. Warmth turned to electricity, fear turned to light. The people move with the sun's breath, waking at its lowest flame, sleeping before its peak. Children learn equations of reflection before they learn to read. Mirrors are their alphabet. At night, the domes open like flowers, releasing stored heat into the black, cooling by surrender. The human mind reshapes to survive, dreams filled with light, colors beyond spectrum, warmth that feels like safety. They measure not temperature, but resonance. How each heart synchronizes with the solar frequency of survival. They eat from the desert itself, salt flowers, dried algae, minerals mixed with air water, flavor born from endurance. At dusk, they gather in the circle of shadows, where no flame burns, but every face glows. The horizon stretches infinite and alive, an ocean of silence boiling with invisible motion. Fire, says the elder, is not our enemy. It is our ancestor. We have simply learned to speak its language. The desert hums softly, alive but calm, as if even the air, after burning all day, finally sighs. A new dawn rises, not of light upon darkness, but of life within light itself. Humanity no longer hides from the sun. It breathes with it. Inside glass vaults, light becomes soil. Plants grow in the reflection of heat. Green life born from white fire. They capture photons like seeds, each one stored, split, and returned as pure energy. For the first time in centuries, green returns to the desert. Grass shimmers like flame, cool and alive. Children play with sunlight, bending beams through glass threads, sculpting warmth into shapes of joy. The sun was once our god, says a philosopher. Then it became our enemy. Now, it has become our teacher. Across the horizon stand resonance towers, columns that sing to the sun, converting vibration into light. The settlement now pulses like a living organism, cities breathing in daylight, exhaling energy at night. Even when the sun sets, its memory remains. Streets glowing softly with stored radiance. Night no longer means darkness. In the heart of the desert lies a pool that reflects the sun perfectly, not a mirage, but a mirror remembering creation. Once a year they celebrate the festival of fire, not to worship heat, but to honor harmony. Scientists discover genes awakening under sunlight, DNA evolving to store thermal energy. From orbit, the desert gleams like a second star, a luminous scar turned beacon of survival. We once feared the flame, the elder whispers, but we were made from it. Every atom of us was forged in stars, The desert no longer burns. It glows, alive, aware, eternal. Humanity has not escaped fire. It has become it. The earth was never meant to burn or freeze, only to learn balance. At 71 degrees in the desert that boils the air, life discovered its final truth. To endure is to glow.